All righty, friends. How we doing here? How we doing? How we doing? Okay, so we got a couple more matrix units still to get to, and we're going to deal with one of them right now here. So next one is actually not too bad. So we've learned now how to take a system and set it up in an augmented matrix and then use row reduction to solve it. But we're going to dive in a little bit more and just deal specifically with matrices and just some of the arithmetic of matrices. For instance, we're going to talk about matrix addition, subtraction, combining like or just um, arithmetic operations on matrices. And then we're going to end with multiplication. So multiplication is a little bit different. Everything else is pretty straightforward though. So for instance, say I give you a matrix, and notice we have a 2 by 3 matrix, 2 rows by 3 columns. And we have another 2 by 3 matrix, 2 rows by 3 columns. They are they have the same entries in the same location. If that's the case, then I can add and subtract matrices. So this is called matrix addition. All right, so both addition and subtraction, as long as they're identically sized matrices, we can put them together. And you're going to do literally exactly what it says you're going to do. So why don't you guys do me a favor and just go ahead and add the matrices together. Go and pause the video and do it. All right, let's see how you did. Again, this is pretty straightforward. This is kind of nice. So -5. So you literally just take the numbers that are in the same spot, add them together. So 1, we got 12, we got 3, we got 4, we have an 8, and we have 6. Friends, that is how we add and subtract matrices. You literally just put them together. Let's take this matrix right here, this A matrix, for a second. And what I'd like you guys to do is, I'd like you to do one more thing, something called scalar multiplication. Now, this is different than multiplication itself. On scalar multiplication, if you see a number outside a matrix, what that means is that you're taking a matrix C and you are going to multiply all the numbers inside it by that quote unquote scalar. So that -2 on the outside, that's called a scalar. We're going to multiply. We're going to multiply into every entry on there. So go and pause the video and do that too. All right. So again, this is not too terribly difficult. My guess is you guys are going, you got to be kidding me. No, not kidding. Not kidding at all. So we got 2, -2, -10, and -6. Scalar multiplication. All right, so as we keep going through here now we're going to go ahead and be able to use matrices to combine things a little bit more. So 3a plus b. So in other words, scalar multiplication into matrix A by 3, and then combine the two results. So pause the video and let's see what you guys get with that. All right, so let's see what we got here. I have a 3. At -2, I got 4, I got -1, I got 1, I get 5, and I get 3. Plus the next ones. -3, 5, -4, 2, -1, -2. All righty, so we're multiplying it in, and we end up with -6, 12, -3, 3, 15, and 9. And we're going to add that to the next one. -3, 5, -4, 2, and -1, -2. So we did our scalar multiplication. Last thing we got to do is just add them all together. All right, so -9, 17, -7. Oh, what do we have there? That's a 3 right there. That didn't come out real clear, did it? There we go. 3 and 2 is 5, 14, and 7. All right. All right, friends, why don't you guys go ahead and pause the video on this next one and give that one a shot too. All right, here we go. Sweet. So we have -2, we have 4, -1, 1, 5, 3, and we're going to subtract 2 times our second one. -3, 5, -4, 2, and -1, -2. Okay, so first things first, get that scalar multiplication. Now, whenever I see a subtraction sign, I always like to change that into a negative scalar. So make that a plus negative. I find that it helps me out a little bit. Again, I know we're talking about arithmetic here, and it may not help you out. It helps me out, so if you guys are cool with that, that's what I'm going to do. So -2, 4, -1, 1, 5, 3, plus 6, -10, 8, -4, 2, and 4. And now we combine all our like terms together. So -2 and 6 is 4, -6. Oh, what do we got there? 7, -3, and we have 7. A lot of 7s, friends. Oops. 7 and 7. There we go. All right, so we did our order of operations. Now that's going to bring us to our very last thing, matrix multiplication. So again, nice thing, today's a little bit shorter of a video, not too bad about that, not too shabby. So let's just move on here. Now, matrix multiplication. When we do matrix multiplication, one of the biggest things to remember is they don't have to be the same dimensions. Only one dimension needs to be the same dimension. So when I go through and I multiply these out here, well, first of all, let me list their dimensions here. This is a 2 by 3. And this one right here is a 3 by 3. In order to multiply two matrices together, all that has to be true is that the columns of your first matrix must be equal to the rows of your second matrix. If these are equal, then I can actually multiply these two matrices together. And the resulting matrix is going to be whatever those numbers are on the outside. So when I get done multiplying, my resulting matrix is going to be a 2 by 3. So here's how this works. We are going to multiply, when you do your multiplication, we're going to multiply every row by every column. So that's what you're going to see here. And that's what I'm going to have you guys do too. We're going to multiply every row by every column. That was weird. There we go. Multiply every row by every column. So let's take a look at this. How many rows do I have in the first one? I have 2 rows. And notice how many entries are in each row. There's 3. And then what about my columns? I have 3 columns. And how many entries are in each column? Again, there's 3. So as long as those are identical, this will work. So I'm going to take my first row and I'm going to multiply it by my first column. Now, friends, be very, very organized. So I'm going to take my 1 and multiply by a number. I'm going to take my 0 and I'm going to multiply by a number. And I'm going to take the 3 and I'm going to multiply it by a number. Numbers I'm multiplying by are the first entry here. So 1 times -2, because they were the first entry in each of the row and column. 0 times 1. And 3 times -1. Now notice, after I get done multiplying all the entries together, I'm going to end up adding. So I do my first row, my first column. Now I'm going to move over and do my first row, my second column. So 1 times the first entry in the second column, plus 0 times the second entry in the second column, plus 3 times the third entry in the second column. So the first entry was 4. I get 0 here, so 0 times 0, I'm really good at multiplying by that, and I got a 1. And then we have our last one, first 1 times the first entry in the third column, plus 0 times the second entry in this third column, plus 3 times the third entry in the third column. I should probably move my face. All righty, and so your first entry was 2. Then I had 0 again. And then I had a -1. So we're going to keep going here now. Now I'm going to do my second row times each column. So 2 times the first entry in the first column, -1 times the second entry in the first column, and -2 times the third entry in the first column. And again, we already know what those are because we have them right above. You can kind of see the pattern that's going to kind of keep popping out here. And it's that pattern that we want to be looking for. It's going to make this a little bit quicker. And again, what we're doing isn't hard. It's just very tedious. You got to be very organized. If your organization is good, then you're going to be fine too. I just realized that -1 right there kind of looked like another addition sign, didn't it? All right. Negative right there. Yep. So we're going to throw in our numbers here now. We have a 4. We had a 0. And we had a 1. Throw in the next numbers, or the second row and the third column. So 2 plus -1 plus a -2. So 2, 0, -1. All right, so now this just turns into a big giant multiplication problem, right? So we're going to multiply and add everything. So I have a -2 here, plus 0, minus 3. And we're just going through and we're just doing our multiplication. Then we're going to come back and we are going to add. So -4 minus 1 plus 2. Now what we got here? We have a 4 plus 0 plus 3. That was a weird looking 0, friends. I tell you what. Let's try that again. There we are. Plus 3. And then we have an 8 plus 0 minus 2. And then we have a 2 plus 0 minus 3. And a 4 plus 0 plus 2. So we have all of our entries now, and we can go ahead and combine our like terms. So we have -5 -3. We had 7. And we have a 6. And we have a -1. And we have a 6. Friends, this is matrix multiplication. Notice, what were the dimensions of this new one? They were a 2 by. All right, friends, why don't you guys go ahead and, well, let's first of all, be very careful. Don't just multiply entries here on this one, but let's see if we can actually multiply this one together here. My guess is you can tell just by looking at it that we probably can. So if we look at it, columns in this one, rows in that one, yeah, this one's going to work because those are equal. And then the result is going to be whatever is left over. So which is going to be a 2 by 2. So why don't you guys go ahead and try this one and see how you do. So go ahead and pause the video and try multiplying these together. Okay, remember, it's going to be the rows of the first times the columns of the second. Why don't you guys go ahead and be very careful. Go ahead and multiply them together. Unpause it when you're done. All right, let's see how you guys did. So if I'm looking at this here, I see the first entry in the first row and the second entry in the first row. Well, it's just a little bit easier to do, a lot less numbers. First entry in the first column and the second entry in the first column. First entry in the first row, second entry in the first row, and we have the first entry in the second column and the second entry in the second column. First entry in the first column plus second entry in the second column and first entry in the first row. And again, we're just being really organized, right? Just being really organized. I'm hoping the colors kind of help you see where everything's going here. Let's see, that's what I wanted. There we go. All right. First entry in the second row times the plus the second entry in the second row. And we have the first entry in the second column. And we have the second entry in the second column. So now we do our simplifying here. -3 plus -12. We have 2 plus a -15. We have 6 plus 0. And we have a -4 plus 0. So we have -15, -13, 6, and -4. There we go. And again, did we do it right? Go back and check your result. We should have a 2 by 2. We have a 2 by 2. Now, it doesn't guarantee we did it right, but gives us a good idea that we did. All right, let's keep going here a little bit more. A little bit more. Got a couple more to take a look at, and then we'll call it a day. All right, friends, here we go. Why don't you try number 3? Go and pause the video, go from start to finish, and try number 3. All right, let's see how you did. So on this first one, I see a 2 by 1. And I'm combining it with a 3 by 2. So if I go and I compare Uh-oh. Friends, these right here, not equal. And if they're not equal, that means, lo and behold, this one right here cannot be multiplied because the columns of the first matrix do not equal the rows of the second matrix. So whenever it doesn't work, you got to give them a little explanation why. Always give them a little something there. Tell them why. Why doesn't it work? All right. Well, why don't you guys try the last one, the fourth one here? Let's see what you guys can get with that one. Yep. Pause the video and unpause it when you're done. Let's see what we got here. Then we got a 2 by 2. And we have a 2 by 1. All right, this one's going to be a winner, it looks like, because we have 2s. That means my result then that tells me the result then is going to be a 2 by a funny looking 1 apparently. 2 by 1. All right. So I'm going to have a 2 by 1 when I get all the way done with this. So each row, so I have 2 rows, that makes sense, by each column, and I have 1 column. All right. So a little bit of multiplication, and we can call this one a day. This might go down as our shortest video yet. Okay, so first row. Times the first and only column. So -3 and 2. Second row. Times the second column. Or, sorry, not second column, first column. First and only column, that is. All righty, so what do we get here? I just go straight across on this one. No reason to go anywhere else. Let's see here, -6 and +10. And what do we got here? 3 plus 8. And lo and behold, we end up with 4 and 11. All right. Well, friends, that was addition, subtraction, matrices, scalar multiplication, matrix operations, so arithmetic operations, and then we finished up with a little bit of matrix multiplication. So why don't you guys go ahead and enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Take care.